Hi guys, welcome to Simproved, Fry speaking here, and welcome back to another Sims 4 speed build. And today we are going to build this castle, and it's also a tiny castle. Since the new stuff pack, the tiny living stuff pack for The Sims 4 came out, everyone has been asking me to build something impossible with it, and you guys voted on Twitter that it should be a tiny castle. So thank you so much for all your votes, and here is your tiny castle, which is only 98 tiles big, so is considered by the Tiny Living Stuff Pack as a small home and gets some benefits as well. So without further ado, let's get started. So I start in Windenburg on a 64 by 64 lot. I will only use base game here, and I used, of course, the Tiny Living Stuff Pack, a tiny residential lot rate or whatever it is called, just so I can see how many tiles I occupy. And for those who don't know how to build a tiny house with all the benefits but still have like a big house, they should maybe watch my latest video, which was a tutorial where I explained it a lot. And here we just going to do the same. We use walls singularly. I don't know how to pronounce stuff, I'm sorry. Yeah, we don't use that many roofs though. So basically, what I wanted to do is to have a little tiny castle, because lots of you guys have asked for castles in the last, years. Castles are just something that you guys always want to see, and are considered by the Sims community apparently like super hard to do. In my opinion, like really smart modern houses are harder to do, but yeah, why not? You get your castle, you wanted it, I'm going to build it. So this will only use the base game, so everyone can download this, and the download link will also be in the video description down below. And I started off with just putting some mountains because I wanted it to thrown on a hill. And then maybe later I would have thought to put like a village around, but then I thought, nah, I actually like it just as a castle as it is. So here you can see me starting off the whole thing. So this would have been so much easier, of course, if I could just use rooms. But since I had to place every single wall like separately, it took me quite some time because it was very fiddly. Like I think this is like really hard to do, time-wise. It is of course possible to even make it smaller with this trick, but I wanted to use 3 levels here, and therefore I had to have rooms on the 2nd and the 3rd level. Otherwise I don't have the grid and your Sims can go upstairs, like really walk on there and use objects, etc. So yeah, basically these 98 tiles that it will be considered as big will be only like rooms inside of the castle, so they're really functional. And of course this is fully functional. I've play tested it. It is up on the gallery. Please let me know in the comments down below if there are some issues with this, but it should work fine because my Sims could prepare some food, sit on the throne, sleep, wash dishes or whatever they do, and go to the toilet. So the basics are definitely covered in this build, and like the rest of this is just basically me drawing little turrets, little towers, and connecting them with walls and stuff. This is not based on any castle in real life. Also, this uses so many different types of architectural styles that it's not very realistic. So every historian will agree here that this is basically the Disney version of any castle, which I always tend to use as a euphemism for a very unrealistic castle, but they look really nicely like, fairy tale medieval movie kinda. So this is basically what I wanted to do here. It's like more of a Disney kind of castle. It has like this fairy tale chic to it, but it's definitely not realistic. But I really liked how it turned out, and I know that lots and lots of you guys are also like into the royal gameplay, so to speak, and want to play with princesses or queens and kings, etc., or maybe even medieval Sims. So this is the perfect build for this. And I also didn't, I also did the interior design and the whole decoration as if it's like a, medieval castle or whatever, for a fairy tale kind of gameplay. Also, keep in mind that I'm German, so I have seen a fair share of castles, of course, because we have so many of them here in Germany. I guess this is like just a usual thing in the whole of Europe, that we have just tons of castles. This just, you know, they happen to be around, and sometimes you go there and visit them. Some get turned into a museum, some are pretty cool for medieval markets and like festivals and stuff, which is also why I sometimes visit them. And sometimes some are just, you know, just landmarks that you can see and like walk around in the parks. I'm personally a big fan of walking in castle grounds, because the parks are always so cool and beautiful. And this is also why we're going to put in like a really nice rose garden all around. Because during building this, I came up with the idea, since this is like a fairy tale, Disney-ish castle, to come up with the idea that it's maybe for Sleeping Beauty. And we have the thorn rose bush thing going on there, right? And I thought, why not use lots of roses? Because I'm personally not a big fan of roses in real life, and also don't really like how they look like. Like, it's definitely not one of my favorite flowers. But I just thought, since I never used them that much, this could be the reason where I finally use that object, or I finally use some rose bushes. And yeah, finally I did. So later this will have like some overgrown rose bushes all around, and it looks really magical. And yeah, I really liked how it turned out. It's a fairly small castle, like it's a fairly small house, so to speak. Up to 8 Sims can live there, because there are enough beds for 8 Sims. But I think we only have 4 bedrooms. So some of them might like each other to share a bed, just get telling you up front. But yeah, basically for me it was lots and lots of looking at the counter on top and seeing if this is all working fine. And since I didn't have like a whole castle already like sketched out or something, it was basically just, you know, twisting and turning it, and from looking at it from all angles and seeing where I can add something or can add a new tower, etc. So this took a little bit more time, but since it is so small, it was quite like a quicker thing to build. I did some fairly really good like big castles in my day, so if you are interested in that, there are a couple of them on my channel. I have to admit that these free build things where I just come up with my own castle are fairly more easier, since I tend to use castles from movies, etc., and try to recreate them as best as I can in The Sims. And this year was actually kind of very refreshing, since I had like the total freedom of just doing whatever I want. The only restriction that I did myself is to build small, or like counter-wise small, and the rest is base game, which also made it a little bit more easier, because I didn't have to scroll through so many new objects, because I personally have all of the Sims 4 packs now, and dude, it takes ages to scroll through all the objects. Like, you definitely, I don't know how people do it, like build when they now get the Sims in all the packs, because I gradually got all the packs when they came out, and therefore I have looked at every single object in all the swatches, so I kind of can remember, you know, oh, there was that one cool object, why not use that? That was from that and that pack. So it is easier for me to find them. But like some other people who just got into the game, that must be really confusing. And there's actually no tip that I can tell you, except like, you know, patience, endurance, look at all the stuff and just slam it in there. But yeah, the castle's looking pretty nice. So far, I'm pretty happy how like the overall look of it is. It looks really romantic, like fairy tale kinda, you know. I really liked it. I definitely also always wanted to have like a white castle with red roofs or red roofing. I just thought this is, yeah, the princess version, you know. And yeah, I actually liked how it turned out, because I tend to, because of the Discover University pack that we got before the stuff pack, we got lots of Baroque kind of Rococo stuff, and I tended to build like palace like Versailles, Sanssouci, these kinds of things, inspired things. And here we go back to medieval. So that's pretty cool. It was kind of nice to do that again, but I think I'm fairly okay with building modern again after that build. I still don't know if I want to complete the whole trinity on Twitter, where I said, okay, pick one. Is it tiny castle, tiny village, or tiny city block? But I think like a tiny city block would be cool as well, like to see that we have only micro homes on one lot, and then in the end it's like it has maybe the small house thing. So if you want to, you could erase some of them and then just have like a micro home. I guess that would be cool as well. At least for me, or for machinimas, or just, you know, general playing would be interesting. For those, also I want to say hi and thank you and welcome to everyone who just came to my channel because they have seen the huge micro home. Hi guys, I'm really happy that you're here. And yeah, I'm a little bit overwhelmed because that video went a little bit, you know, kind of viral amongst the simming community, so that's pretty cool, but I'm kind of overwhelmed that so many people join us now. Just for those, I built like lots of different stuff. So this is a castle, sometimes I do modern, and basically I just build whatever you guys tell me to. So if you have really cool ideas, just put it in the comments down below. And the most, you know, intriguing idea where I think, oh, this is cool, nobody has ever done that, blah 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 blah, that's cool, just, you know, write in the comments down below and I will try my best. I actually like to rebuild stuff from movies or so. I got a big request from a dear friend of mine. She wants Elsa's ice castle from Frozen. And yeah, it's possible, but it's kind of boring for me because everything is just ice and like, you know, there's nothing that much to it. And I want to build something that is kind of useful at least, you know, so we have to get some freedom, or like take some freedom there while building, so it is like usable for your Sims at least. So yeah, maybe I'm going to do this, I don't know. Write in the comments if you want to see anything like a frozen castle or something. But yeah, I like that idea, and for those who are like big fans of certain builds or houses from movies, etc., just write in the comments down below. Maybe I like these houses as well and want to recreate them in The Sims 4, because that's like something that I personally also really like to do. And yeah, and here we go already in the landscaping, which is basically lots of hills, lots of paths, which got deleted, by the way, lots of times by the game itself, because the game hates me now. I think the devs are onto me now that I tricked the game with the micro home, you know, with the tile counter. But I think I'm fairly okay, because SimGuru Ninja, who is one of the developers of the game, he retweeted my YouTube video on Twitter with like hard eyes. So I think he's not that mad on me that I did that, because some of you were worried that it's going to be patched out. I think that the devs are just like, okay, she tricked us, it's fine. But yeah, I think they're cool with it, that I kind of cheated a little bit the system. I think they were expecting it to happen, maybe not so soon, but you know, what can I do? But yeah, basically the landscaping here is lots of stones and of course some trees that are aligning the paths. I just thought that's really cute. Didn't want to overdo it, but I just thought it looks kind of nicely for your Sims as a background around the castle. And here we go with the rose bushes, because I think we have like 3 in the base game, I mean 3 rose bush kind of things, and I scaled them up sometimes so they look like trees and sometimes they look like bushes. I just wanted to have like a nice assortment of different rose bushes. Does that make sense? But yeah, I thought like the whole Sleeping Beauty thing always has like these... Is it Sleeping Beauty? Now I'm confused. Wait. With Sleeping Beauty, everyone falls asleep, right? And there's a huge rose thorn bush all around the castle so nobody can get inside. Do I mix up the fairy tales now? I'm not sure. Write in the comments down below if I just say something wrong. I'm sorry. But I think it's Sleeping Beauty. In German, it's Dornröschen. Is Dornröschen the Sleeping Beauty? It is, right? Germans, help me out, please. But yeah, I just thought it's like pretty cute. It also matches the whole red theme, white and red theme. And then in the interior design, we don't have that much space because it is, of course, a tiny castle. Like I said, it is a tiny castle. Like, don't expect a grand palace here. So we have really narrow, tiny little rooms, and we have to decorate them. So the first thing that you see if you get into the castle is the throne room. And I just thought, okay, we need a throne room because people who are going to play with this castle probably also want to, you know, play it as a medieval fairy tale castle with a princess and maybe servants and a king and a queen, something like that. So they need a throne room, and here we go. We have a throne room, of course. I wasn't so sure with the wallpaper first because the exterior wallpaper is just, you know, white brick. But then I thought, okay, maybe we go really like medieval, just brick wall, like darker brick, you know, a little bit more realistic. By the way, for the interior design, I was also kind of inspired by Czechoslovakian, I don't know, like back in the days when I was young. We had these amazing fairy tale movies that are from, I don't know how the country is called in English. Okay. But anyways, we had these really cool fairy tale movies, and these were the ones that I always would, you know, like with real actors and stuff, not CGI and not, you know, animated with like drawings or something, like not a cartoon. And I always loved that, of course, as a child, because princesses are like a super big deal, and castles, and, you know, kind of all these fairy tales. And there would be like so many of these movies, and we would have them all on VHS and watch them all the time. And yeah, they were super kitsch in interior. And of course, nothing was like as the time period it takes place in would be like or look like. It's like totally like made up for movie, you know, like it's a set design. It doesn't make any sense. And this is what we do here as well. Like, it doesn't make any sense. Like, some things are more baroque and like way later, some things are very medieval. So we jump through the centuries here. We have a big cluster F of everything. So I always tend to say that is also for everyone's taste. So hey, this is my yeah, I did this for you guys. But yeah, basically we go with red here. If there is a red swatch on the textile, I use it. So that means the bedding, the beds, the curtains, lots of curtains, because then I think it looks a little bit more royal. And then we use like the normal brown, like I think it looks like a cherry tree wood, which also has like a reddish tint. I use that as well because I just wanted to go with the whole red theme here. Maybe you also go like with, you know, Game of Thrones, where every house has like their own color. By the way, I did 2 Game of Thrones castle builds. If you want to see that, guys, it's on my channel. But yeah, just because I am straightforward and wanted to do like not fully fancy around with all of the colors here, because I know that lots and lots of people usually tend to, you know, download my houses and then change up their interior design to their Sims and their story, which is totally fine. This is what they're there for. But yeah, this is why I did like the whole red theme here, because it was inspired by my Czech movies, fairy tale movies when I was a kid. And they were really, really colorful sometimes, and I liked them a lot. And yeah, this is the whole inspiration behind everything here. I really hope that you like it, guys. It is definitely a weirder build, but it is functional and you can play with it. So for those who are into medieval stuff or just want to see it as like maybe like a trip, so maybe your Sims can go on a field trip with the whole family and look at the castle, that's what they can do here as well. Because apparently, like, I did this when I was a kid. Like, we used to drive up to some castles and just visit them for a whole day. This is what me and my family did. So yeah, maybe your Sims do that as well and have a cool time there when they don't live there, of course. This is basically the whole build, guys. We will go into the video tour now, where we all have like a better look at it. And you guys also wanted to have something that I sometimes forget, so excuse me for that. But this is the top-down view of everything, so you can see it better. This is how it looks like from the layout, so it's easier for you guys to follow where everything is. And also, if you want to rebuild this, I have put the grid on so you can see everything. So for those who want to rebuild this, here you go, guys. This is how it looks like from above. And yeah, here are some cool video panning shots. I really hope that you like this castle, guys. It is, of course, very, very decorated, and I love that it is just 98 tiles. Like, there's still 2 tiles for you guys to use. You can still put like a little tiny toilet house, like an outhouse somewhere, because there's only 1 bathroom in that thing with a shower and a sink. If 8 Sims will live there, yeah, it's maybe hard to play with it. But then again, in medieval times, they wouldn't even have like real pipes or something like this. You know, they would just have like jugs of water brought to them or something like that. And I really like how it turned out. It is definitely something that thrones above, you know, whole of Windenburg. And for those who say that the 64 lot by 64 lot is something that they don't have in their game because they only have base game, or I don't know, other packs that don't have the 64 lots. No problem, guys, I built it in the middle of everything. So if you place this on a 50 by 50 lot, the castle will still be there, but just, you know, some of the rocks and some of the not so important, I would say, trees are then of course deleted. But yeah, so this is working for everyone, I hope. Please write me in the comments if it does, because the download link is in the video description down below for you. And as always, write me in the comments what you want to see next and the coolest suggestions get made. I don't know yet. Also, I'm still not sure if I'm going to do like a village and like the city block. Maybe the city block is kind of interesting for me. I'm not sure now. But yeah, basically this is the whole build, guys. I really, really hope that you like it. I want to thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe to my channel. It's free to subscribe to my channel, but you get like a notification when I upload a video. So if you want to do that, just do that. Maybe give me a thumbs up here on the video if you like that build, and you can also give it a thumbs down if you don't like that kind of build. But it would be fairly more better to just write it in the comments, because I always read the comments. And also, by the way, thank you so much for all your lovely comments under the micro home. It was so fun to read them. And I'm definitely going to do more tutorials, because apparently that was really helpful to a lot of you guys. So thank you so much for all of the support in the last days. And I wish you a happy simming. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you soon. Bye bye!